What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another episode of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me, as always, are Robert D. Felice
Howdy, howdy.
and Callum Wiggins.
Let's rank.
That's what we're doing today.
I wish I had somewhere to go with that.
We are doing another tier list. This is the AEW roster tier list. As you can see, we've got some stuff on the screen. Woo! Mouse going crazy. We're doing this because we've been wanting to do it for a long while, and finally we're getting around to doing it. And that's not entirely just out of the blue. I mean, we were trying to plan to do this around the 1 year anniversary of Dynamite. Also, by the way, tomorrow, the 9-year anniversary of the Smack Talk podcast. So,
Woo!
making me feel old, you know? So we're going to have this split up in two. It's going to be one audio stream if you obviously go to somewhere like, I don't know, the Amazon side of things. I should have brought up a link instead. You go to, let's bring it up here because now I could actually show people some stuff. Let's go over to Apple. If you go over to somewhere like here, you're going to see one stream eventually, and it's just going to be both the women's and the men's divisions for AEW. But if you go over to the YouTube channel, hey, look at this, YouTube. Hey, you are going to see only one video per each special side of things. One video for the women's division, one video for the men's. That's how we're going to break it up here. Obviously, in this particular video, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you are looking at the women's division roster. And the way that we do this tier list is that we do it as kind of the way that we've been doing the Mount Rushmore and some of the other things, the top rope list and whatever we do where there's like a consensus. So each one of us would probably rank these men and women differently. And we're going to have to come to votes and figure out where we're going to place them on here. Maybe if you take Abaddon, maybe like if I would put her in meh, maybe like Callum would put her in elite. And if Rob would put her in no longer elite, then she goes somewhere around the middle. That's, pretty self-explanatory, I think.
I would also be wrong, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, she technically isn't, but, so that's how we're going to do that as far as just a simple tier list. You pretty much should know how that goes by now. You just rank people in order. It's kind of like call a spot, kind of like, Mary Fuck Kill, kind of like every different types of things. Callum has made this and the men's roster one. So before we get started, give us a breakdown of what these little categories are.
Okay, so the categories that we've broken down to here are elite, which is obviously the elite of all elite wrestling. So these are your main eventers, your top stars, the big drawing factors. You have great underneath it, which is slightly just the tier below. So your mid-tier level, just a slightly upper card. Like if it was for the, say, men's WWE side of things, it would be Intercontinental United States title level. You've got your all right, which are middle of the road, mid-carders, just people that are there that have good qualities, have negative qualities, kind of just in the middle of the road. Meh is pretty much like jobbers, people you don't really care about too much, just people who are there to make up the numbers. And stick to dark are people who maybe shouldn't be appearing on the main show very often and should be getting a bit more practice in until they actually can come on to be on the AEW roster instead. There's no opinion if there's certain people who we haven't seen too much of, because I took all these from the AEW roster pages. So it's not full in terms of everyone that you see on Dark and stuff like that. But if we don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other, we can put it in there. And no longer elite is due to Tiermaker not allowing you to get rid of people once you add them onto the page in the first place. So there are certain people on this list and on the men's list who are no longer part of AEW. But I didn't want to start a whole tier list again, and I put this original one together a good 3 or 4 months ago. So it's been quite a few things have changed since then. I tried to get the most recent roster, so there are a few new additions, but it also means that some of the old people that are no longer with the company anymore are still on there, and we just plonk those ones that aren't going to be part of this anymore in there. We can still discuss them every now and again, but
so
that's where they go.
Let's look under the AEW roster, the actual like Wikipedia side of things, because there might be some people on here that maybe aren't necessarily on the website.
Yeah. Yeah, so certain ones I can tell in general in terms of like the Wikipedia things. There's no Diamante, there's no Evilise,
Diamante, Evilise. We know
and there's
there's
no Rebel either.
Oh, she's not a part of that. We know that there's some people that not even the Wikipedia lists that are basically kind of signed. Like Red Velvet seems like she's pretty much signed. They
Yeah, but
never
she's not
really
listed yet.
confirmed that at any point. So of course you can't just say that she's officially signed because they haven't put that whole like Red Velvet is all elite type of thing out there. Oh, I forgot that this does this. Woo! Oh, it's not doing it. Oh, come on. Really? It doesn't do the little spinny thing anymore? Oh,
I guess not. I guess
I'm
it's being a little
disappointed.
bit. They've got a little bit more basic, but it's just the idea that
Jerks.
we took the people directly from the roster pages rather than finding like other images of these people. So we potentially could have found people like Evilise and Diamante on there, but I thought if they're not part of the AEW roster page, then we don't really need to include them at this point.
Theoretically speaking, where do you think that you guys would put them on here? Somebody like a Red Velvet, to me, I haven't seen enough of her to be like, oh, she's elite or something. But I'd put her around like the all right. I think she knows what she's doing a little bit more than some other people do. She's not perfect. She's okay.
Yeah, I think she's, from what I've seen, she's competent enough to go in all right.
I would put her in Stick to Dark for now because probably needs a little more work, but I like her.
As far as
Because of-
Evilise and Diamante, to be honest, I'd put them in meh.
I'd put them in all right.
Probably put Diamante in all right, and Evilise I'd put into great just because I have seen more of her work outside of AEW.
And I think somebody has to be in great. I'd probably co-sign that just because.
There are a few people on this list we're going to put into those ones, or at least I am going to.
I hope so.
Drive into those ones.
It's not really great when you have her locked in that submission that Thunder Rosa had her in.
No. But yeah, I mean, she hasn't had the greatest run so far. But then again, a lot of the women on the AEW roster can't really attest to that either. So
yeah, that's true. So before
Where would you put Reba?
Oh, Reba, yeah, I forgot about that whole.
She hasn't really wrestled, has she?
I think
she's a great character.
I'd probably go no opinion because I haven't really seen her. I've never really watched Impact enough to know anything of what she's done.
From what I've seen of her Impact stuff, I'd put her in meh, probably.
I would honestly put her in all right just for the character work.
So before we get started on this, let me just get a couple quick plugs out of the way. I'm going to do this on both videos just in case because the roster tier list things get some interesting views and everything. So obviously, if you are watching us on the screen right now, then that's the way that you should be doing this because this is, a kind of an interactive thing where you should be watching it. If you're listening to us on one of just a podcast, maybe you're heading on your way to work or something, totally fine. I mean, we're going to be talking about what we're replacing everybody, so you'll be able to get the gist of it. But you should look on the screen right now if you are watching on the videos like that. And here's a couple things to be aware of, just in case you are not totally aware of things. Now, on the YouTube channel, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you haven't done that already. Don't do that. Don't hit the dislike. Not good. This little applause button right there, that is just a way to, toss a couple bucks our way. Just a little spare change kind of thing. This little join button, it's pretty much the same as this Patreon side of things. So if you do want to join the Patreon, here's a little breakdown of just some of the tiers that we've got going on. This is the Patreon exclusive Dark Casts. You've got the Pick Your Poison, where you can pick whatever type of special feature you would want us to do. I usually narrow it down to 5 just to make sure that I've got the time to be able to do anything. But of course, if some sixth person was like, yeah, I really, really want to do whatever, I'd probably find the time to do it. If you are just like clicking through and you're doing the same stuff for Fanboys Anonymous, you're doing the same stuff for whatever it might be, hit that share button as well. Just kind of follow through with that. If you want some kind of tangible stuff, check out the merchandise shops. You got TeePublic here where you can browse these different designs. Maybe you want a Smark Out Moment t-shirt or something. And I'll just open up the Fickle one while we're at it. just to show how it's not necessarily just the way that is. You change all these different options. You can get different types of shirts. You can get different products that are all over along here. There's also the Fanboys Anonymous shop on TeePublic. There's also the A Mango tees. This is just generic type stuff, making fun of COVID, whatever. Then there's the same thing, A Mango tees on Redbubble, Fanboys Anon on Redbubble, and Smark at Moment on Redbubble. So pay attention to that stuff.
I believe I saw a legitimate ticket to Pound Town.
That is, where is that on here? A Mango tees. Yep. Ticket to Pound Town sticker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you want a hoodie that says "You suck" instead of YouTube, there's a lot of things that, if you're interested, there you go. Here's face fuck. It's on a skirt.
Oh my!
And I identify as T-shirt, and it's a pillow. You slap a design on a bunch of different things. Just to be aware, because it's something that I breeze by a lot, and I figured it would be something that I could show people. So, also drop your comments below. You should be doing that on these things because we want to hear what you guys have to say. So whether or not you agree or you disagree with where we place everybody, just chime in. So now that stuff is out of the way, let's just start getting into this with this actual group. Now, I would think the best thing for us to do is to just take care of the no longer elite. Sadie Gibbs is one of them. And
Bea Priestley is the other one.
Bea Priestley is here. Are they the only two?
They're the only two that aren't officially still part of the AEW roster.
Is not Awesome Kong also?
Awesome Kong is still part of the AEW roster. She's still listed on the AEW roster, so she can be ranked.
All right, I'm good with it.
So you guys want to go in order, or do you guys want to just kind of go all random?
We can go around the horn a little bit because they're all ordered in alphabetical. So if you want to go from, just not go from like start to finish, then we can do whatever. However you want to go.
Well, let's go Cheetah first because she is the champion. To me, she can't be in these. That's a little too harsh. Personally, if we're ranking based off of like the ideals of every type of company, I honestly think Cheetah's kind of in the all right. Now, if we rank based off of AEW, she's elite. So how do you guys want to handle that? Do you want to rank it based off of AEW itself, or do you want to rank based off of...
We have to put it in the context of AEW. We can't compare to other promotions and go by that distinction.
Then let that be known, everybody, in case everybody goes, you mean that they're elite? Like Charlotte Flair is better. Yeah.
Well, I would say that Hikaru Shida would be, in my opinion, great in a WWE context as well, let alone an AEW context. She's elite in AEW. She's great in WWE because I watch her matches and she looks like she's actually hurting people, or not hurting people as in like
like
the way that Eva Marie hurts people or something like that. But it's just like she actually looks like she's laying into people and actually doing stuff. So I appreciate that.
That's 2 votes for elite. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna rank it in the context of AEW, she's elite.
So let's try to get one of each kind of from now.
If we want to go for Stick to Dark, then I think that the one that really screams out to me for that category is Dasha Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah. Because
I don't even know if I want to put her that high.
Well, that is the lowest.
That's as low as it. That is the lowest you get.
Well, fair enough. Okay.
Because no opinion is really like it's a neutral ground, kind of.
Yeah, very neutral.
Whereas I don't have a neutral opinion about Dasha. Dasha's not good. Sorry, Dasha.
I think that Dasha is at least excited about being there.
Really? She's gonna wrestle.
Oh my god.
She's in a good place as being a backstage interviewer, but she clearly needs a lot more time in Dark and basically every other promotion until she can actually, do things.
That moment though is what Dasha Gonzalez is for me forever. God, you're so happy.
She's got the happiness of a kid in a Burger King toys commercial kind of thing.
All right, I'll throw one out there for meh, and we just gotta change one letter because I say Mel. Mel is meh.
She's
I
stick to
haven't
dark
seen a lot of her.
for me.
I haven't seen a lot of her to really know, but from basically just from the Nightmare Collective, I kind of want to go with stick to dark.
2 votes for stick to dark, 1 for meh. She's going stick to dark.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna stick to dark, leave a bit.
Nah, Lever's got character, which
but
extends her a little
I'd
bit more.
go
I
meh.
think she's meh. Yeah.
all right.
I've been looking at. I watch Dark every now and again. Obviously, I can't watch the whole thing because it's like 3 hours long or whatever. But it's just a case of I've been watching the stuff that Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler have been doing, and that's
They're
like
fun.
that is really entertaining. That feud.
You know, you just mentioned it offhanded. Why is Dark so damn
16
long?
fucking matches long.
Yeah.
Did anybody explain that?
I kind of just get the sense with that. It's just a case of it's on YouTube, so you just scroll through. You put in the matches you do like. You skip the matches you don't like. It's not like it's a TV show where you expect it's taking up to however many hours of TV time. It's just something you can just flick through and just watch matches that you're interested in.
It's just crazy though, because it's like they seem dedicated to adding an extra match each week. Where like,
Well,
because
I think-
we went from a time frame where it was 2 matches, then it became where it's like, there might be like 4 matches. Then it became there's like 7 matches. Then they had this recurring theme of like 11, but then it's been 12, 14, 15, 16. I'm like, 2 weeks from now, it's going to be 36 matches the way that they're doing this.
Well, you know what I said, like, I don't know if it was like a year or a few months ago or whatever, or something like that, but it was the idea that these people aren't going to get better in the ring unless they're working matches constantly. And Dark gives them the opportunity to have at least maybe one more match a week or have a match, whereas if they're not good enough to be on the main show, gives them a chance to work on some few things, get better at it, because frankly, none of them are going to get better unless they're working more often than they currently are. So I'm happy with Dark having more matches. Doesn't mean I have to sit through and watch all of them, but the ones I do want to watch, it's good. And like I say, the best feud running on it is involving Leva Bates with Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler. So
yeah,
and Leva's playing her part in that. Obviously not in a wrestling capacity, but she's adding something to it.
So let's go another one here. I have no opinion about Shanna.
I haven't seen anything. I'm pretty sure she's had like 2 matches.
Like
She's signed, yeah.
wow,
I think
all right.
she's I think it's something to do with travel restrictions and COVID and stuff like that, which has kept her away for so long. So I don't want to put her in any position yet because I haven't seen enough of her working yet.
I think that's completely fair.
Yeah. We need somebody in great, somebody in all right.
Well, someone in grey, I think, can be. I'd say Riho is great.
I'm not big on Riho. If you,
Well, she's not big on anyone. She's not big on anyone. but
you're both going great.
Riho, I thought she's highly underrated in her role as the first champion.
I'd go all right.
I think she's great.
Yeah, I think she's a great wrestler out of them. Like she's very quick and she's very coordinated. Some of her, my big issue with her is that some of her strikes don't look strong enough, but she is tiny. So that is a slight issue. But other than that, I think she was a really good first champion.
I would like to throw out the most improved award to Tanara Conchi.
Shit, yeah. She went from stick to dark to, not even continue wrestling anymore to being, she's all right.
Yeah, she looks pretty composed now in the ring. I don't know what it is. Like I said, maybe it is something to do with just AEW allowing her to do more of her judo-related stuff rather than having to just work a WWE style. But whatever's happened has worked wonders.
Yeah. Everybody going okay with her with all right?
I'd put her in all right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like it would be somewhere between all right and there for me, but I'm okay with putting her in all right.
Where is Matthew McConaughey? We'll put him in all right.
All right, all right.
Now, one that I think is going to be divisive is Abaddon.
I'm not a fan.
I like Abaddon.
I like the aesthetic and I like the character. I don't know. I haven't seen from what I've seen of her in the ring. It's too much character and not enough actually working. But I definitely wouldn't put her stick to dark.
I put her in Meh for now.
Yeah, I think Meh at the moment. I think if she can manage to show a bit more working side and blend that character into it, then I think that would be it's something completely different than anybody else on AEW.
I'm okay with
I
her
would like-
character bumping her up to meh. If it's just her ring work, it's stick to dark. Because at least her character, well, I mean, she really is just a look. She's not really a character. Because we haven't heard much about, like, what are her driving
She's been
we
injured for a
haven't
while,
gotten
hasn't
there
she?
yet.
motions.
She's been injured for a while, hasn't she?
Well, she just
This
got
is her
injured.
first match back.
Well, no,
Yeah.
she's injured now. I don't know.
Oh yeah, off the Ty Conti thing. Yeah, I was getting
Yeah.
at that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we were going to see her on AEW this week, but now she's that match has been
Supposedly
pulled
they
off.
pulled it. Yeah.
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 So can we really have Ty Conti on all right if she injured Abaddon?
I think that's just a fluke.
Yeah.
You know.
Apparently it was a bad.
I mean,
elbow
I
to
would
the
believe
throat.
that if I hadn't seen Ty Conti working in NXT. But
I mean, she was the one in that match with Santana, right? That was just a
Yeah.
dumpster. Yeah, that was woof.
yeah, at least they were moving so slowly there was no chance of anyone getting injured in that one. So
So I'll go on a higher thing. I think Penelope Ford, great.
That
Yeah,
match
she's
against Cheeto was great.
yeah, I don't think she's elite, but I think that she definitely has a lot of potential.
I'd put her potentially in elite. Like
She'll get there.
I could be.
Well, I think at the moment there's kind of two that are elite right now, which is Cheetah and Britt Baker. I mean, Britt Baker's elite. Right?
Baker.
Britt
See, Baker. Character elite. Ring work, all right. Overall package, great.
Yeah, but that character work.
I think that
is
character
the
work
best thing to watch in the division.
Yeah,
Like it's the
supersedes it.
best thing in the division. Britt Baker should win that belt at Full Gear.
I do agree about that. I don't think that she is
But
anywhere
she's
near.
not the greatest worker.
Yeah, she's
I think
nowhere
she's
near
gotten
what
better,
she should
though.
be right now.
I think she's gotten better since her injury, surprisingly enough, which I thought was weird because I thought that she'd get injured and then she'd come back and have to just start all over again. But I think the last few matches that she's had have actually been some of her better ones in AEW. So
I'm gonna be negative on Yuka Sakazaki and Emi Sakura. I am not a fan of either of them, especially Sakura.
You gotta
You're
get
not-
over that.
you're not going to talk me down for this. You're not going to talk me down like that. Emmy, I'm okay putting on all right, but Yuka Sakazaki's great, and I'm having no argument outside of it.
To me, I'd put them both in meh.
Yeah, that's just not happening. Like they're good to great, so I would put them both in great. But if Callum wants Emmy in all right, I can understand.
Well, I'm trying to appease Tony a little bit with that, just because he can't appreciate how much better Japanese women's wrestlers are than American women's wrestlers in general.
Well, I mean, I have no problem with a lot. I mean, like Io Shirai is great, Asuka's great.
They don't touch Asuka and Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, but I think compared to a lot, especially on the AEW side of things, compared to that, they are great.
I think it's time to acknowledge that these women got like 3 months to showcase what they can do.
And then COVID happened.
Yeah, I think we really have to acknowledge that like AEW banking on all the foreign talent they did really screwed them over with their women's division. But these women are great.
Yeah, so I'd put Emmy in all right, and I'd put Yuka in great.
Where are you going with them, Rob?
I would put them both in great. So if Emmy's in all right, that's all right with me. But Yuka's got to be great.
2 against 1.
Yep, that's the way it's gonna work.
If there was a poorly booked category, I really think that that's right where you put Allie and Brandi. But let's go with Allie first. All right at the most.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, she's not great.
Like, well, we know that she has potential because
she has ability. Yeah,
because it's again seen her working in Impact and stuff like that. But it's just a case of they don't seem to know what to do with her right now. It's just a case of like she started just as a baby face, like Ali, like it's Ali, and Ali was great in Impact, so she could be a great baby face for the women's side of things. But then now she's the bunny and she's a heel and she's teaming up with her husband, and now for some reason she's separated from her husband and for no reason, and she's with QT Marshall, and now she's back with her husband instead. It's just,
and the reason she gave a reason last night of literally, I got bored. Okay, sure.
Well, they clearly got bored of the story, and that's why that's just I translate over.
And for that matter, Brandi Rhodes, when she is playing the role of Cody's wife, does tremendous things. But for whatever reason, Brandy's got this thing about wanting to be a character, and then it just goes
wanting to be a heel
meh.
character in particular. She really, really wants to be the
She-
top heel of the company.
Yeah.
Now, before recently, I would have put Brandi in there just because even though her character work is great, her ring skills just really hamper it for me. But then I saw her match with Anna Jay from a couple of weeks ago from that special they
From
did.
Dark. Or
No,
Late
it wasn't
Night
Dark.
Dynamite.
It was that other special thing they did for
Oh, the
midnight,
Late Night
the
Dynamite.
Late Night Dynamite.
Yeah, Late Night Dynamite. Yeah, and that match was really like I would say it's great, but it was good and it was like vicious, and they really went at each other. So part of me thinking that I'd put Brandi off that based on all right, and I'd actually put Anna Jay in great because she's surprising me with how good she is.
I'd put
Anna
them.
Jay's pretty good.
I'd put them both in all right. I haven't seen enough of Anna Jay to really fully assess her positives and negatives.
I'll
I mean, I think
co-sign
that's fair.
on that only because I haven't seen as much of Anna Jay as I would like.
I do
Yeah,
think
yeah, I
Brandy's
can-
got a potential to be under the great side. But
I mean, out of the two of them, I'd put Anna Jay over Brandi at the moment. But I'm okay with putting them both in all right for the time being.
so here's a confusing one. Awesome Kong. If we go with her full career, elite. If we
Yeah.
go with her WWE career, no opinion because she wrestled 3 freaking times, I think.
Once, I think.
And if you go with where she's been in AEW, you might as well put her in no longer elite because she hasn't done anything except for backstage stuff.
Yeah, she's just not wrestled in a long, long time. I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether to put her in no longer elite, but she is technically still part of the roster. She's still listed in there. So I guess there is obviously the potential to bring her back at any point.
As long as she's on this roster, I'm going to put her in great.
I mean,
If you go based off of this roster, like we've done with like Britt Baker and everything, I say you got to put her in no opinion because she just hasn't done anything.
I would say, I mean, personally, if I'd put her anywhere, I'd put her into meh because this isn't Awesome Kong anymore.
All right,
Like,
that's fair.
Because she is slow and she looks like she could be dangerous at this point, just because she is so much bigger than most of the women, and she seems a bit sloppier, and she doesn't need to care as much. Although her TV show didn't get renewed, so that's so maybe she'll be coming back soon to get some paydays.
I figure if you've only seen AEW, you would look at Sheeta and go, "Oh, she's one of the best."
Yeah.
And you'd look at Shanna and go, "Well, she's only wrestled a handful of times, so I don't have an opinion." And if you've only seen Awesome Kong in AEW, you go, "Who is this?" Because she popped up for like 3 events and a
She was
handful of
part of the
episodes
Nightmare
of
Collective for
Dynamite.
a while, yeah. Yeah, so it's just like, it's just like, oh, she looks impressive, but I've not actually seen her do anything. So
Yeah, she wasn't
Fair
even
enough.
like she wasn't even wrestling really in a lot of the matches that she was in because they were like 6-woman tags and stuff.
yeah,
I'd go no
So-
opinion. If you guys want to rank her, then we got to rank her low because she hasn't done anything great. She hasn't had a single like
I mean,
elite match.
I guess putting her in no opinion is probably the most politically
Yeah,
like neutral thing we can do with her, because otherwise she has to go negative, and which seems bad to do with Awesome Kong, but Awesome Kong in AEW is not the same as Awesome Kong in TNA.
Mhm. So we got only 4 left.
An interesting 4. Let's go with Serena.
I'm not all that into
She-
Serena.
I think she's a good worker. I mean, she's the NWA Women's Champion now.
Now,
to
yeah.
add that side of things. So I don't think she could be any lower than all right.
I'd put her
in meh.
in great.
Yeah, I think she's too good a worker to be put in there.
Is she? I
Yeah.
haven't seen anything from her that makes me think that she's a great worker.
But you also let's put this in context. You also regularly admit on the hot tags that you skip through AEW.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't had a reason to watch. She's only had what 3 matches?
Yeah, and in the context of those 3 matches, she's one of the best workers in the company.
She is like a very like just she's got no like super exciting elements to her in matches. She's a very like steady hand. So I would put her in all right just because of that. But I think she leans more to the all right, great side of things than she does meh.
That's fair.
So we got a potential great, an all right, and a meh. That balances out to all right.
Yeah, put it all right. Yeah. Nyla's an interesting one. Because I think if you're looking at just pure potential, she is great. Because she has a ton of potential.
You can't put her any lower than great.
She's got to undergo into the great thing. She's not elite, but she's one of their best that they've got.
She's been champion and a top name since the day they started. So she's great.
And she's one of those ones where you kind of like, even though she definitely needs to work on her wrestling ability and get better over time because she's still very green, just the presence of her is something that elevates her above people that wouldn't otherwise be. With other people with her wrestling ability would be in the mess or stick to dark side of things, but she has a bit of a presence about her and character.
Statlander and Swole, I'd put them both around this range. Neither of them are elite, except if you're gonna put one of them in elite, I'd put Swole.
I mean,
I'd put Swole in great and Statlander in all right.
I don't really know about Statlander at the moment. It's just, I mean, I know she's been injured for a while. I never saw anything about her that really made me super impressed. And this alien gimmick is just...
Yeah, it's really stupid.
That's
just because you don't believe in aliens, Gallant.
I do believe in aliens. Because it'd be stupid not to, but I don't believe that she's one of them. So that's kind of where the disbelief goes with me in that regard.
I'd be comfortable putting her in all right and Swole in great. Swole's better.
Swole's great because she's got a lot of character.
I like it. I mean, we did this quick, but I can't see a single problem with this list.
I mean, the one thing that is standing out to me is that I feel bad for Mel, in that she's a much better wrestler than Dasha Gonzalez. On the front, that Dasha Gonzalez basically can't wrestle, and she's on the same tier as her.
Okay, I said to put her in meh.
I kind of feel like I should just put her in there just because she can wrestle.
Yeah, let's do that. Why not?
Yeah. It feels like she's had more than one match, and that one match didn't want to make me gouge my eyes out.
You,
so
you did it, Dasha. You wrestled.
It was not awesome.
I think in the context of all the AEW stuff, I think I'm pretty happy with all these tiered up at the moment.
You know what I'm not happy about? That these don't spin anymore. I was really hoping to go and do that a couple times.
Well, Tier Maker is no longer all elite.
Yeah, so Tier Maker, let's bring you down to here.
You stick to dark.
Yeah.
You can fight Brian Pillman Jr. or something constantly.
So yeah, that's our breakdown for the women's division, and I think that's about it, right? Not gonna really bother to do plugs. I already did some plugs and stuff, but obviously, if you were just listening to this one, follow these guys at Dude Felice and at Bigmeister14, and I guess we'll click over and we'll switch things to the men's side of that. But if you are just watching the video itself on YouTube, then stick around, do all the stuff I've told you to do before. Hit that like button, hit that share button, join, subscribe, blah blah blah. And we'll see you next time. But for now, for this video, at least for this portion of it, this has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.